Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yoon Jung-min. We begin with a flurry of diplomacy scheduled for the South Korean leader until the year is up. Next week, President Yoon Suk Yeol will attend the APEC summit in San Francisco, and his diplomatic engagements will also involve trips to London, Paris, and the Netherlands, as he looks to increase South Korea's economic security and global leadership. Our correspondent Oh Soo-young has details.
President Yoon Suk Yeol will look to increase Seoul's economic security and high-tech partnerships with like-minded countries, engaging in economic summitry in San Francisco and state visits to Europe. Yoon's office on Wednesday announced the President and the First Lady's upcoming trips, beginning with the Asia-Pacific Economic Partnership Summit hosted by the United States this year. Arriving in San Francisco on November 15th, Yoon will attend the APEC CEO Summit and the APEC Business Advisory Council Dialogue, among other sessions, laying out South Korea's role in global cooperation in overcoming the climate crisis, supporting the green transition, and countries vulnerable to climate change. He'll also emphasize the need for multilateral efforts to strengthen supply chains and establish digital ethical standards across the international community. The leader will also hold bilateral talks on the sidelines, as well as engage with the local Korean community and young people in high-tech industries. After returning to Seoul for the weekend, the first couple will head to London for a state visit, the first to be extended by King Charles III following his coronation. On November 21st, Yoon will meet King Charles at a welcoming ceremony to be followed by a luncheon before observing South Korea-related artifacts held at Buckingham Palace. After his royal engagements, the South Korean leader will pay his respects to Korean war veterans and at the Tomb of the Unknown at Westminster Abbey before delivering a speech at Parliament to set out the direction of bilateral relations going forward. Heading to No. 10 Downing Street the next day, Yoon will hold a bilateral summit with Prime Minister Rishi Sunak as the two countries produce the South Korea-UK Accord to strengthen their strategic partnership in trade, IT, cybersecurity, weapons, space and green industries, among other key sectors. Yoon will also attend various business-related events before he crosses over the English Channel to Paris, where he'll continue his appeal for South Korea's co-city of Busan to host the 2030 World Expo ahead of the decisive vote by member countries later this month. Marking his final overseas diplomacy of the year, Yoon will head to the Netherlands in mid-December, marking the first state visit to the country by a South Korean leader. During his two-day stay, he's expected to engage with the Dutch royal family, members of parliament, as well as key businesses in high-tech areas.
President Yoon's diplomatic streak comes against the backdrop of the growing US-China rivalry, the ongoing war in Ukraine, and the Israel-Hamas conflict, making his multilateral engagements all the more crucial amid efforts for global and economic security as Seoul looks to act as a global pivotal state.
The APEC summit will be a chance to strengthen South Korea's diplomacy as a responsible player in the global community, while the state visit to the UK aims to strengthen strategic cooperation, particularly with key friendly nations. President Yoon has assigned Seoul with the responsibility and role of contributing to world freedom, peace and prosperity whilst attending the NATO, ASEAN and G20 summits and the UN General Assembly earlier this year.
Yoon has held 142 summits so far this year with 93 nations according to his office. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.